Today on Open Minds UFO Report, a cylinder UFO caught on video in Alabama. A witness in Cleveland reports a triangle UFO, and an American Airlines UFO report caught on ham radio. Your Open Minds UFO Report starts now. Hello and welcome to the Open Minds UFO Report. My name is Alejandro Rojas. A witness in Pell City, Alabama reported watching and videotaping a large black cylinder-shaped UFO hovering over a highway, according to a report submitted to the Mutual UFO Network, also known as MUFON. The witness was driving eastbound along I-20 just west of Pell City at 12:02 p.m. on October 21, 2015, when he noticed a large black hovering object over the interstate. "I whipped out my camera and tried to record it," the witness stated. "I estimated the object to be around 80 feet long and approximately 300 feet off the deck. I observed it for about 2 miles of interstate before passing underneath it." He continued, "I could not see any windows or features to the object, and it appeared stationary." His wife was traveling in a separate car behind the witness, but she did not notice the object. As for the video, the witness says, "Unfortunately, the video makes it appear much smaller than what I was observing. Anyways, I don't know what it was. Thought maybe you would be interested." The object is hard to see in the video and is only briefly captured near the end. However, the still frame taken from the video shows the object very well. Alabama MUFON field investigator Michael Haynes investigated and closed this case as an unknown. Many have suggested that the object in the video could be what is called a solar balloon. These are long plastic tubes, much like a 50-foot long plastic trash bag. They are black, so the heat from the sun warms the air inside, making the balloon fly. It is not uncommon for solar balloons to be mistaken for UFOs. In a separate report to MUFON, a witness in Cleveland, Ohio reported a close encounter with a triangle-shaped UFO. The sighting began at about 10:21 p.m. on March 8, 2016, and the witness dictated details into his phone as the event unfolded. The witness wrote, "It was traveling slowly, it was not that high up in the air, and it was an unusual constellation of light, so I grabbed my iPhone and I thought I should take a picture of whatever it is. And then it got closer and I got closer. We were converging right over Interstate 90. As it got closer and closer, I thought it might be a group of helicopters, but they were in too tight of a cluster. I saw a constellation of lights that were in an abstract sort of triangular form. As the craft got closer, I kept looking up and I saw that there was a slightly lighter color to the body than the dark sky." The witness described the object as having a light on each corner and a very bright, dazzling light between those. There was also a red light on the bottom of the craft. The witness could not tell if the red light was flashing or if there were several lights changing positions. The witness continued, "The craft was traveling very slowly. It was probably 4 to 6 telephone poles off the ground. Not regular telephone poles, but the kind of tall ones that are along the interstate. If this craft was indeed triangular, it appeared to be traveling backwards away from the point. As the object moved overhead, the witness thought there was structure to the object. As the craft approached the highway before it crossed over me, I thought it could be a structure, a linear structure like I-beams or something that has lights along it, and it was not a flat triangle. It appeared to have a flat aspect, but the front seemed to be folded a little, making it like 2 long skinny triangles, but only in the front." The witness was left baffled at what he might have seen. "I racked my mind trying to figure out what it could be other than a craft. It was not that high off of the ground. As an artist, my life profession is about looking and seeing. I'm very articulate and I'm able to describe things well. I worked as a carpenter for 30 years and I have a pretty good sense of dimension. I would guess this craft was between 40 and 60 feet long. Of course, perspective could have thrown all of this off. Of course, everything about this could be incorrect. But if it was what it appeared to be, I saw something quite remarkable and would like to know if anybody else saw the same damn thing." The witness said the sighting took place west of exit 169 on Interstate 90. Ohio MUFON field investigator Joseph Pavlansky closed this case as an unknown. A ham radio user heard what appears to be a UFO report near Nephi, Utah, while monitoring airline communications between commercial airliners and the control tower. The conversation was not recorded. However, UFO researchers were able to get a copy of the transmission from the Federal Aviation Administration, also known as the FAA, in response to a Freedom of Information Act request, also known as FOIA. Pat Daniels, a paranormal radio host and ham radio hobbyist, was monitoring airline communications on January 14th at around 12:12 a.m. when he heard exactly what he was looking for, a UFO report. According to the website UFO Northwest, Daniel claims, the pilot reported seeing an extremely large bright object that he estimated a mile wide to his right. The air traffic controller told him that he was looking in the direction of Nephi, Utah. Apparently, the air traffic controller told the pilot that the object was not detected on radar. The object appeared to keep pace with the aircraft. Daniels reported the event to MUFON's Utah chapter. The Utah MUFON state director at the time was Erica Lukes, who says her team, with the help of William Puckett from UFOs Northwest, began investigating. First, they were able to determine the flight was American Airlines flight number 434, which was traveling from San Francisco, California to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. In order to confirm the report, the group filed a FOIA request to the FAA and reviewed audio files from the air traffic control website. Luke says they had to listen through hours of audio communication, but they finally found some of what they were looking for. They found part of the communication from the flight, but the UFO report was missing. Fortunately, the FAA came through. 6 weeks after submitting their FOIA request, the FAA sent them radar returns, voice tapes, and tower logs. The audio file included what they believe is an excerpt of the UFO sighting.
American 434.
American 434, go ahead.
You would happen to know what this bright orange squares we're flying over, would you?
No, that's a good question. I'm not sure. Is it off to your right side?
It's like directly off our nose right now, like right below us. So we've been watching it for a while. It's like, I don't know what it is. It's a perfect square, and it's bright orange. What town are we next to? This town right off our 2 o'clock well.
American 434, that is Nephi, Utah.
Nephi, okay, cool. Now, see what I can find. Thank you.
You bet.
As noted by UFOs Northwest, the audio only states that the object was large and orange, but not the parts about the object being a mile wide, that it was keeping pace with the aircraft, or that it was not on radar. In fact, the audio that was provided, as some researchers have pointed out, could indicate something on the ground. Still, it confirmed that Daniels did hear pilots reporting something that was large, bright, orange, and baffling to the crew. Under further analysis, the investigators believe that some of the audio was redacted. Daniels feels this could be because the American Airlines crew did not identify themselves prior to their earlier transmissions, so the FAA would not have included it in their request for communications for Flight 434. The group also examined the FAA's radar data. Puckett of UFOs Northwest is familiar with radar. He has a master's degree in atmospheric science and worked as a meteorologist for a few years before a long career working for the Environmental Protection Agency. He has analyzed radar data for UFO cases before. While analyzing the radar data for 12:08 to 12:15 a.m., Puckett found several radar hits south of Nephi and close to the path of Flight 434. Puckett writes, "The animation shows 1 to 3 returns for each revolution of the radar. There are a few rotations where no returns are detected. This is strange. One wonders if the object was moving erratically and perhaps was rotating, exposing more or less radar cross-sectional area, resulting in no detection or a different number of returns. The object could have been large considering this type of radar signature." You can read his detailed analysis of the radar data at UFOs Northwest. The case is still under investigation. At least one investigator has suggested the lights could have been a local power plant, but Puckett and Lukes feel the pilots would have been used to seeing the plant, so they would have not found it mysterious. Lukes also spoke with local residents who say UFOs are often spotted in the area. The group is asking that anyone on American Airlines Flight 434 contact them. The flight left San Francisco at 10:08 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Wednesday, January 13th, and arrived in Philadelphia at 5:35 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on January 14th. You can also listen to Erica Lukes and I talking about this case and other Utah mysteries on a recent episode of Open Minds UFO Radio. That's your Open Minds UFO report for today. You can find these stories and more at openminds.tv. We post fresh UFO news daily. You can also follow us on Twitter at OpenMindsTV, and you can find us on Facebook. The 25th International UFO Congress was a great success, and DVDs of the lectures can be purchased at our online store. They are also being posted on our video portal, which is an online streaming service. For one low price, you can view an archive of lectures from past UFO Congress events, and more videos are being added regularly. Our store and our video portal can be found at openminds.tv. Let us know if you enjoyed today's episode by liking the episode on YouTube and leaving us your comments in the section below. You can also download our podcast, Open Minds UFO Radio, on iTunes or at openminds.tv/radio. Thanks again for joining us today for Open Minds TV. I'm Alejandro Rojas.